Dunnellon has always given me genuine love, and I've always got a spot in my heart for Dunnellon because I am a Tiger Marion County. And it's one of those things where we're kind of spaced out so far from central Marion County and Ocala, the hub of Marion County. We're so far out from it that sometimes we get forgotten about or get treated like the redheaded stepchild of the county and stuff, but we embrace it. A coach wears so many different hats when it comes to kids, and wears so many hats at the school where you have to be. You may have to be a counselor. You may have to be a uncle to a kid. Or you may have to be a dad figure to a kid. Because our teens are troubled. So if you can't help in all those avenues as a head coach, then I think you're dropping the ball on. You might not have that much time to do 4 yards in a cloud of dust, and just punish somebody up and down the field, because ultimately the goal of the game is to get across the end zone, is to score points. Having Dylan Curry this year, he'll have the most career starts, but when it's all said and done in Dunnellon history as well, been the starting quarterback since his freshman year. So having him in that capacity with as much football as he's seen over the last 4 years, and his decision making, I think it will be okay. I would probably say Mike, that middle backer. You have a dominant middle backer that can also fly downhill, play C gap to C gap, and can drop and run with, probably one of my fastest guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, William Robinson of TLC Talk Love and Communication, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a special guest, Coach Bynum from Dunnellon High School. He's the first Afro-American coach in over 100 years at Dunnellon High School here in Marion County, ladies and gentlemen. This young man gonna give us some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and let us know how he has risen to be the man that he is today, ladies and gentlemen. And without further ado, we're going to give this young man a special round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
How's it going there, champ? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. Doing good. I'm blessed.
How was your ride over, man?
Not bad. Not bad. I'm real familiar with Ocala, so it didn't take me long. I was right here.
Okay. So tell my audience a little bit about yourself.
My name is Josephus Bynum III, better known as J.B. Bynum. Or Coach Bynum. I'm the current head coach at Dunnellon High School. This is going into my 16th season. I'm pretty sure people are pretty familiar with me from my time at Trinity Catholic and Wildwood and at Dunnellon at the beginning of my career. I also coached semi-pro around the area in Ocala too. So families from Ocala for the most part. So real versed, or people have seen me and know who I am for the most part.
And this is not your first head coaching job, correct?
It's not. I was also the head coach in Wildwood when I was down there from, I believe, 18 to 20. I got down to Wildwood in 17 with a McKinley role. And then when he moved to the JUCO ranks, I stepped in for him for the next 2 years.
And how was that transition? Being a head coach once before, now stepping into your second chance, so to speak, to be a head coach. What do you think you're taking from your first experience, and how can Dunnellon gain from that, sir?
It's the workload, from going from a coordinator to head coach, that transition, is one that you have to kind of go through to be prepared for it. So being that I've done that at Wildwood, and then the transition from co-offense coordinator to head coach at Dunnellon this year, it was kind of seamless, and it's easy because it's home for me. So you get an extra little boost of fire behind you when you're representing your alma mater.
And that's so important to be able to, when you actually graduated from Dunnellon, correct?
Yes, sir.
So it means a little more.
Oh, yeah, it means everything to me. I mean, regardless of where I was coaching at, Dunnellon has always given me genuine love, and I've always got a spot in my heart for Dunnellon because I am a Tiger through and through, from middle school to high school. So it just feels different, but it feels right, if that makes sense. Right. It feels right being back home because I've accomplished some things, you know, in my coaching career at other schools. But in the back of my mind, I was always like, you know, I wish I could accomplish this back home at Dunnellon. It would be so special to me and so special to the town of Dunnellon and those people that just open their hearts up and give me just genuine love, even if I'm just driving through. You know, just from playing there in high school and middle school. I know a lot of people and seen a lot of my friends that I've came up with that are doing big things in the town and being successful. It's just a blessing to come back and still have that genuine love, and everybody is still the same. And it's like, hey, Bynum, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a while. It's just it's genuine out there, and we consider that D honor just to be different as well. So, and we're different out there, but the love is all the same.
You know, I'm gonna ask you a hypothetical question. So you got a tiger,
okay,
and you got a wildcat. You know, who gonna win that battle?
Who wins that between the tiger and the wildcat?
Yeah,
I think you know the answer to that one already. Big cat's on top, man.
Wildcat,
it take a little bit. Big cat's on top, man. It take a little bit for That wildcat will be, nipping at the heels, but that tiger will finish him off eventually.
It's a possibility. I noticed you said, I've never heard that said before. You say the D for different.
Oh, yeah.
And, even me being, always lived in the city limits and everything like that. I graduated from Forest High School.
Right.
Wildcat. But Dunnellon and North Marion, to me, is different.
Yeah.
The fan base a little more loyal. It's like it's us against whoever.
Yes.
It feel like it's done because you're on the outskirts of the county. Mm-hmm. Some people may consider it Citrus County. They don't even realize it's Marion County. You know what I mean? It's so, it's right on the tip.
Oh yeah, we're right there on the edge of Marion County. And it's one of those things where we're kind of spaced out so far from central Marion County and Ocala, the hub of Marion County. We're so far out from it that sometimes we get forgotten about or get treated like the redheaded stepchild of the county and stuff, but we embrace it. That's one thing that we embrace. Citrus County knows that we're not Citrus County, we're Marion County, so we don't get any love from there, but it's kind of like we're our own little entity right there, but we embrace it.
And I noticed, as a football team, y'all travel very well.
Yeah.
Y'all travel no matter where y'all go at. Dunnellon gonna be there to represent. The fans are very loyal, and by the way, you got a pretty good announcer there.
Oh yeah, and he's also our team chaplain. That's a PT Tom Golden. He's awesome. And I think we have the best home field advantage in Marion County. I mean, everybody. If you've been to a Friday night at Dunnellon, you know exactly what I'm talking about because it is rocking regardless. And PT does a phenomenal job, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see him. Get us rocking again right there in Ned Love Stadium.
So when you think back to yourself being a player, how does it feel, the first day, when they assign you the job? Mm-hmm. Okay, Bynum, the handshake is, it's set in stone. The first time you was by yourself, what was your emotional state? How did it feel?
It was kind of a surreal moment because you think back to all of your memories that you had playing and playing basketball and football and running track there at Dunnellon. And then it really hit me when I was walking the halls. That's when I really, walking the halls of the school when wasn't really nobody there during the summer. And you just look around and be like, man, I remember this class. I remember going here. I remember there, and then I often sit in the field house in that office sometimes and just really look around and just think, like, man, this is crazy. Yeah. I'm the head guy at my alma mater, but then it also gives me a sense of pride that I'm the torchbearer. I got to lead us on to the next stage, and grabbing the torch or getting the torch passed to me from Tommy Sutton, who was also an alumni and also a Tiger, one that I played with at high school and too, but I was 2 years older than him. Mm-hmm. But for him, the great job that he did and then just passing the torch along to me, it gives you a sense of pride that, this is Dunnellon and we take care of our own, and then our own can also come back and give back. So it makes it very special to me.
Here in Marion County, we kind of messed up by football, as you know.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So, the word is next to the principal, it's the head football coach.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true though. I mean, the football coach has major influence on that high school campus. So I look forward to taking that responsibility, putting it on my shoulders, and being able to help Dunnellon be the best it can be academically in the schoolhouse, not just on the football field.
That's correct. As far as being a head coach, and I'm at Dunnellon, so a lot of the parents of the kids that's playing now, you went to school with these,
absolutely,
with the parents. So, and it's important. So when you see that kid, you can see, you was with the parent when the parent was that age.
Yep.
So you can see similarities, and I also know it means more to you from the academic standpoint. So let's talk about the academics standpoint of being a head coach, sir.
That's probably the biggest responsibility I would take from it, is making sure that these kids have their academics in line, so that way that their future is not hindered by anything. Football is only one part of it. I mean, academic is the big part of it, and just making sure that we stay streamlined and stay on task with these young men, so that way their future is not blurred or hindered in any way due to academics. So that's got to be what they strive for, first and foremost.
And that's important to put that first. And I think discipline down throughout the hallways and in the classroom will translate into the football field, correct, sir?
Yes, it does. It does. I mean, a disciplined football player is one that's going to be marked for success. So having that discipline in the classroom translates right over to the field. But you have to have it in both.
I tell you what, give me 3 qualities of a great head coach.
One, that discipline would be one in the forefront. Another one is being compassionate to certain things, because every kid is different. So being able to be compassionate and disciplined at the same time with that. And then just one that's a personable guy, I think one that, anybody could come up to and talk to. A coach wears so many different hats when it comes to kids, and wears so many hats at the school, where you may have to be a counselor. You may have to be a uncle to a kid, or you may have to be a dad figure to a kid, because our teens are troubled. So if you can't help in all those avenues as a head coach, then I think you're dropping the ball for those kids. So being able to be that voice of reason, that I can talk a kid off the ledge from doing something crazy, or I can empathize with a kid when he's going through something. Come and tell me, let's get it off your chest. Sometimes you need it, but at the same time, then you can go down to the football field and you can get it out. I think that's the one element that's getting forgotten about, is that football is also a release for these kids. I mean, you get out there, and that's the one place where you could be as violent as you want to be for in between that whistle and not go to jail.
True statement. And and also being able to, like you say, to empathize with the kid. So if the kid's going through this in his personal life, doing that practice, you have a little more understanding. You have a little more insight into this kid as an individual.
Yes.
So, you make, I understand, so you might not bite his whole head off this
right.
time.
You might be, a kid nowadays go through so much. I mean, they have to grow up so fast in certain situations, instead of just being a kid for their high school years. By the time they're a sophomore, man, their mindset is already of a college junior or something like that, with some of the responsibilities some of these young men have to deal with. So being empathetic to that feeling, and not just, I can't just be hard and just, I'm gonna roll you, I'm gonna up down you, and because you did this, but why has your behavior changed? So that's one thing of a head coach, just being able to peep that and understand it, and be like, oh, I see you're a little bit different than you were, earlier in the week. Is everything all right? What's going on with you? You want to, we got to talk about it, because I see, you're struggling throughout practice, and now for me, not just jumping and biting your head off, but actually finding out what's going on with you, and now maybe I can help resolve some things to get you back to.
And
yourself.
That's so important through our inner relationship.
Right.
The name of this podcast is Talk, Love, Communication, and a lot of times, football, we think men, those are the testosterone being released, so we're manly, so to speak, and we tough, and I ain't gonna cry to you my feelings. I'm not going to, but communication is so key, even within the football team.
Absolutely.
Communication. And a lot of times, we as individuals, we have to judge each other off of the totality of our relationship. Like, if you see a kid and he give you 100%, every day you seen him, and all of a sudden he giving you 75%, you know something's wrong.
Something's off, yeah.
Not just, what are you doing? You're not just yelling, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you communicate, like you said. A lot of times, to me as a coach, I think one of my strengths was my ability to relate and communicate with the kids.
Yeah.
Make them feel like they can talk to you. But they also understand that Coach Pete want to win.
Oh, yeah. You're still a competitor at the end of the day. So
still a competitor.
The competitive nature of just the game, excuse me, never wavers. You know what I mean? So I'm still going to be a competitor, even though I may empathize and sympathize with your situation. That don't get it messed up though. I still want to win. We're still trying to win.
You said something earlier about sometimes you got to be a counselor, or uncle, or dad. So many times. And nowadays, there's not a lot of fathers in the home.
Right.
And sometimes you'll find yourself in that role more often than none.
Oh, yeah.
How serious do you take that role, sir?
Very, very serious. Due to the fact, even before that, but I lost my father about 5 years ago. So I empathize with that, not having that father figure at home. Now, I had my dad all of my life, just about, 5 years ago he passed. So I had that 2-parent home, so, but some do not. But you can fill that role for them, even if they say they didn't have an uncle, or, they don't have a dad, they don't have that father figure at home. And most of the time those kids gravitate towards you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and you can sense it. So when it happens, you should embrace it and embrace them and embrace that role, Yeah, I know I'm not your biological father, but at the same time, I can feel that need that you have in your life for these 4 years that I'm gonna be your football coach.
Correct.
And then I'll feel comfortable once you walk across that stage, and I can send you on to college knowing that you've at least had that guidance and that teaching that comes from having a male in your life.
And so you've been doing this for 16 years now,
Yeah.
So I'm quite sure you walk in the store, or you in Walmart, and you see a grown man, hey, coach, and you looking over trying to search the face, this is a grown man calling you coach. Yeah. You know what I mean? He may have his family with him, or a young kid. How does that feel? Have you experienced that?
Oh, yeah, I've experienced it a couple of times over. Due to my semi-pro background, when I first initially started coaching, period, it was adults. I was coaching semi-pro, so these are grown men. These are people that are even older than me currently at the time. So if I can get the respect and all of that from adults, then I feel like teens should be easier. So, but at the same time, I treat everybody the same, treat everybody fairly and accordingly, so it's easy, right? But oh yeah, I have that all the time. Matter of fact, I had it just yesterday. I had one of my former players that's also coaching at Newberry right now. Mm-hmm. But we won a semi-pro championship in 2016, and he was introduced or talking to his head coach, and was like, "This was my coach in semi-pro, and we won the championship."
Right.
And I believe he's older than I am, Right. So it's also a respect thing, Mm-hmm. Once you garner the respect of a man or a teen or anything like that, they'll never let it go. But you show respect to get respect. So,
coaches like sir, coaches like sergeant,
yeah,
coaches the leader. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you can get a group of men, young boys, a group of anyone to follow you,
yeah,
that's a great honor.
Oh, it is.
You understand what I'm saying? They believe in you. You know what I mean? They believe in what you're selling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's so important in the coaching. So let's talk offense.
Okay.
Where's the tight end nowadays?
Well, in my offense, he's utilized quite a bit, but I know in some he's not. But in mine, he'll be all over the place. So I do play with a tight end as well. So.
When we think about the dynasties of let's go NFL, which is the highest level.
Okay.
In the 80s, you had Brent Jones for the 49ers winning all the Super Bowl. In the 90s, you had the Buffalo Bills with their tight end. Dallas with what Dallas tight end was
Oh, now you got
Jay Novacek.
Novacek, there you go.
You understand what I'm saying? You got Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce,
Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez. all these teams were dynasties, and the tight end was very much used.
Oh, yeah.
Tight end, I mean, you got tight ends catching 100 passes in the NFL.
Yeah.
And tight end also breed physicality to me. If I was coaching nowadays, I understand it looks good to throw the ball over the field. And last year when I came out to film you guys' game, I was so happy to see Dylan Curry on the center.
Yeah.
Because it's rare. Everybody on shotgun. And then, critical times, you know what I'm saying, you got an opponent with a killer defensive lineman, they pounding the center. When you get fatigued, you make mental errors. Fourth quarter, you know how many times they hike the ball over the quarterback head?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, no. I'm right there with you now. I mean, we'll be a little more gun this year than we have been, but still have the ability to go under center with it. That's a lost art in football, that going under center. That is, you're right, it has kind of dissolved away from it. But we will do both this year, but maybe not as much as solely under center as we were in years past. But oh yeah, that element of the game won't be forgotten about. But you're right.
You know the RPO. You have to me, I watched South Sumter play against a certain team here in Marion County, one of the better teams in Marion County. For 2 years, 1 year they beat them. The second year, last year they had it. They was winning. They got the other team scored, and they was on the 2-yard line, and it was a misunderstanding with the quarterback. They started the ball on the whistle and not on the snap. And South Sumter is nearby as talented player for player as this other team. But they was able to compete, beat them and compete. You understand? They win both games because they was more physical.
Right.
Their style of play was 4 yards in the dust, 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was very, very well coached, very disciplined. And I seen them as a football team do something. When their defense is on the field, their offense run on the field and go straight to the ball and snap it. Why do I need to call a huddle
if we already got the play?
If you already the whole offense on the sideline, I mean, they'll run straight on the field and hike the ball.
Yeah.
And sometimes they catch the defense off guard, but they make the defense scramble. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say, if everybody is running the RPO, it's only so many plays. You might run a different route or two, but it seems like once you get the defense to stop it, there's no need of, you don't practice as hard because back when you played, everybody had a different offense.
Yeah.
So you have to go and learn a whole nother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might have new defenses in the middle of the season because you have to learn to stop this new offense.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, this is our defense and we just going to work on ourselves because everybody run the same offense. What's your perspective on that?
I like being versatile. I like when there is a little bit of differences and nuances with offenses and defenses versus it. One thing about Dunnellon, we've always been heavy wing T. So a lot of schools already expect that coming in and, they may have a plan that they've used for years, on Dunnellon week. This is what we're going to do Dunnellon week because we know they're heavy wing T. But
those kids still have to practice it.
They do.
And it's different.
It is.
And you only got a couple of days to prepare for this wing T.
Right.
And it's not something you've been practicing. That's like, who was it? Army or, Navy. They run that offense and they still beat regular, real good teams because they're not used to facing that.
There's definitely advantages to being a wing T or a triple option type offense, and that is the preparation that it takes to prepare for it in a week. So a lot of coaches lean on that side. Like these schools will have two solid work days, a walkthrough, and all of that to try to get prepared for this. They're gonna miss something, right? The only drawback to the wing T to me is if you do get down early. If something happens, you give up a kickoff return, they score first, you go 3 and out, punt to them. They score again. You're down 14-0. Now you're behind the 8-ball, the 9-ball, the 10-ball because of how your offense kind of matriculates and builds as the game goes on. You might not have that much time to do 4 yards in a cloud of dust, and just punish somebody up and down the field, because ultimately the goal of the game is to get it across the end zone, is to score points. So I think being well versed in both, having the ability to slow it down if need be, and we can do this because our physicality is what we're known for, so we can still, power ISO counter you down if we need to, but then also still have the ability that we can play with athletes in space, that if we do get down or have to strike fast, we have the ability to do that as well. I like being able to be versed and not being just fit into one, right? You get what I'm saying? Right. So being able to be versatile like that, I think is a big, big thing. Because now your defense has to be versatile as too. You can't play with four linebackers that are thumpers in there if we come out and we're in 5 wide or something like that. Now you're like, oh no, but at the same time you can't put those little guys out there that can run with receivers if we put 9 and 10 in the box and say, come on and get it.
And no matter what, whether I'm coaching offense or defense, in my mind I believe I'm the aggressor.
Right.
As an offensive coordinator, I'm going to dictate the way you line up.
You go.
I'm going to force you to line up the way I want you to line up. If you got a strong, Troy Polamalu would have never did that to me.
Right.
Because I'm going to make you go out there and cover that slot, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put you uncomfortably. I'm not going to let you attack and wreak all this havoc. I'm going to put you out here on this, make you guard this something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm a big believer on making people cover all 53. Cross, you're gonna have to cover grads. You're gonna have to cover the field. I don't want to put everything in the phone booth, because that's at the same time we're one missed block away from the play being blown up. We may be one block away from house calling it too. Yeah. So I mean it's a give and take 50-50 type deal. I just like to clean. I like cleaning the box up. I don't like when it's jumbled up in there and we have certain things that everything has to go right for us to be successful at that point. Versus us just throwing our head against a brick wall and trying to get 2 or 3 yards falling forward. I'd rather clean the picture up, know what we're going, make everybody a weapon, make sure that you're accountable for this outside receiver, or you're accountable for this slot or this back out of the backfield. I have to watch everybody because I don't know where they're going to strike. But at that point, it makes you very vanilla in what you can do too. So I like the clear picture. You can send exotic pressures, but if I catch you in it, it may be a house call.
Okay, I'm gonna make some statements and you choose, you elaborate. Huddle or no huddle?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'd say huddle early. Huddle early in the year, no huddle late in the year.
If I make the statement, players are a reflection of the coach, or coach are a reflection of the players?
I think it's both. Can I say both? Will that work? I think it's both. Because initially, the players are going to take the mindset of the coach. It's just once that resonates and you see it, then you know. But I think a coach adjusting to his players, you know the mock-up of your team, so you know what your team can and can't do. But ultimately, that's what you're trying to get to that where your players are a full-blown reflection of you and your mindset and how you approach the game and how you think the game should be played. And I think once you get to that point, you'll be successful.
Your scheme or the players, your playbook, or you make a playbook for the players that you have?
My scheme is tailored to my players. So I mean, if I have 6-7 receivers that can go and get it, then we'll throw it around a lot more. We'll be a lot more spread. Now if I have 4 or 5 backs that can tote the rock, we'll be a little bit more run heavy. I mean, I think it's just being versatile enough to be able to understand your team and know where you're strong at, where you're weak at. So I mean, if the strength is in the passing game because you have more of those athletes, what do I look like putting those 6'3" receivers and running toss sweep with them or something? That might not fit his style of play, or be will make us successful by doing it. But now putting them out there on the edge and making a 5'8", cornerback have to guard him all night that's probably more beneficial to us.
You know, I remember playing against Gainesville Buchholz my junior year. I don't know if you remember Lavelle Danzig. A guy named Lavelle Danzig. I mean, a great monster, man.
Yeah.
But they would have, you know, they ran the ball a lot, but everybody ran the ball a lot back then. You know, Vanguard, the first team that started trying to throw it around, you know, but that ain't work. You know, that physicality. You got there and throw that ball 3 times and incomplete. That defense right back out there getting punished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
ain't that
but
true?
Their wide receivers was like tight ends, like another tackle.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to throw the ball, so they just want to punish the cornerback. They're excellent blockers.
Yeah.
You know, you have to fight to get around them. All he want to do is just get in your way. And I never forgot that. That was a great scheme. You understand what I'm saying?
Big guys out there on the edge to block these little corners that don't like physicality too much.
So, and run at him. So he have to, you know, come and exert his energy, and then you throw over the top of it. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to get him. He's going to get tired. He's going to get weak. You know what I'm saying? And that same big old man will slip right behind him because, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So that just having that, being able to be versatile like that is nice. I mean, that is a great scheme, by the way. You said Buchholz did that. That's a pretty good little scheme right there. But yeah, teams that do it or can do it or have that versatility to do it, I mean, that's awesome to me.
I'm gonna tell you, we used to have a play, you know, as a coach, as an offensive coordinator. Sometimes the game you get cluttered, you know, things going on. Sometimes you get trapped up in trying to figure out a play with the ref or the head coach talking to you.
Yeah.
And I used to have something to where if the play clock is running down and I'm not paying attention to whatever the situation, I had a play called 26 off tackle. Basically, everybody block down the guard, kick out, let's get there.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm not paying attention, the quarterback had a right. We used to say, you run the best play in the world. You know what I'm saying? He just lined up.
He already knew what it was.
And I live with that, with the results. So he knew. So it's kind of like the protection of me.
Yeah.
You know, as the offensive coordinator, you get cased up in something, you're trying to figure out this and that, and, you know, another co-person in your ear, we need to do this, and you know what I mean? And they would just run their play. And that seemed like such a common sense thing to do for me.
Yeah.
You know, I had a friend used to say, his mom used to always tell him, well, son, common sense ain't all that common.
And, that's a powerful one. I like that one now.
And I've gone to some of these football games, and sometimes the coaches, I'm watching them bicker and the players out there begging for a play or whatever.
Yeah.
And you burning timeouts, useless timeouts that means nothing. And then you need them at the end of the half or the end of the game, and you can't use them.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's undisciplined from the staff standpoint.
Yeah.
You know, how important is it to choose the right assistant coaches as a head coach?
I mean, I think that's huge. That's a huge part of it, because they have to be your voice. They're the ones that are orchestrating your message to those particular position groups or side of the football. I mean, and having good ones that understand kids and understand the game and understand the X's and O's and understand just the overall mission statement of your program. I mean, I think it's huge because I mean, you can have guys that can know X's and O's, but not really know what you're about as a football program. So having those guys makes it real easy, and guys that you're familiar with and can work with or have worked with in the past, that kind of know how you carry on your business on a Friday night, and it makes it easier for it. Like a lot of my right hand receivers coach, passing coordinator, will be with me that I've had when I was in Wildwood, that have been with me at TC as well. So he kind of knows how I function with it. Excuse me. So being with him makes it real easy, you know, because if I'm thinking of something or pondering something, the play clock's going down, he already kind of knows what we need to go to, or just having an answer right then initially to get a play off.
You know, by you being an offensive coordinator in the past and now a head coach, how important is the relationship between the offensive coordinator and the quarterback?
It's got to be big. It's got to be big because he's the coach on the field. He's the captain of the ship, and especially in my offense, how I kind of orchestrated is he's the decision maker. He's going to make a lot of the decisions. He's going to get us out of bad plays. He's going to rectify when a bad play is getting ready to be ran. He knows where to go with the ball. So it's a lot that gets put on his shoulders, but a lot that I could take from him if he is a younger quarterback and is not that experienced with it, then we can also tailor the offense that way as well. But with having Dylan Curry this year, he'll have the most career starts, but when it's all said and done in Dunnellon history as well. Been the starting quarterback since his freshman year. So having him in that capacity with as much football as he's seen over the last 4 years and his decision making, I think it will be okay because he'll be able to get us in and out of situations. He's seen a lot.
Okay, let's stay on Dylan Curry. Last year, my first time watching him was not last year before last at Booster Stadium. You guys up 21. Was you on the staff then?
I wasn't. I was still at Trinity Catholic at this time, but I did keep track of that game.
Dunnellon was winning 21-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Vanguard came out and won 28-21. My heart go out to Coach Sutton. I don't know how he went to sleep after that.
Yeah, I think Tommy still kind of has nightmares of that one. That's one that he definitely feels like slipped away from the Tigers right there.
And I think that sometimes the mentality, we got him. You know what I'm saying? And see, I'm a firm believer in the football team is a reflection of the coach. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to take on your challenge. I remember Coach Simmons been coaching 30 years before I got to Forest High School, and he said to me about the team in the middle of the season kind of lackluster, because back then we filmed every practice. So they look at every practice. We ain't going as hard in practice. We had lost a game or two in a row.
Yeah.
So, you got to look deep into this. You look at the practice film, we ain't going hard. I'm the leader of the defense. I ain't trying to destroy nobody in practice.
Right.
I'm just kind of and I said to him, Coach, we're a reflection of you guys. You know what I'm saying? If I walk out there, if you angry at something and you step out on that field with your face tight, them kids gonna see it. They're gonna sense that. Well, what's going on with Coach Bynum today? So they're gonna be on it. You know what I mean? They're gonna follow your lead.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I said that to him, and he said, well, hell, son, you're right, son. And, that day at practice, the jaw clenched, and, and we tighten up. Mm-hmm. And by him coming to me as the leader of the defense, I was able to, raise my level, therefore raising the level of everyone around me. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? It's so important to have that player, that leader on the field, whether that be the quarterback. Most of the time it's the quarterback on offense, the inside linebacker on defense, to understand this grand scheme of what you're doing. One of my strong points was I teach football as this is the rule.
Yeah.
It's not what I saw Dion do or Jerry Rice do. This is the rule. So when it's a blown coverage in the secondary, we just ask, what's the rule? There's no pointing, no finger pointing.
Yeah.
What's the rule? If the rule, I own it now because I broke the rule.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That's my philosophy. I taught it in rules.
Right.
This is the rule. You follow the rule. Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, their coaching style.
Mm-hmm.
Elaborate on that.
Well, very demanding, which is a good thing at the same time.
It get results.
Yeah, it does. But it also is both of those coaches hold their staff, their players, the water girls, the hydration, everybody to that same standard. And that's also why they're two of the greatest coaches to ever do it, because They're extremely passionate about it, about what they do. They're no nonsense type coaches, but they hold everybody accountable at the same time. I don't care if you're the 5th-year starting quarterback, if you're the incoming 5-star freshman. You're going to get held to the same standard. And I think once that message is presented to them, kids love challenges. Yes. I've discovered that over these years of coaching. Like, they love challenges. They love to hear you say, you know what, I don't know if you'll be able to do it, but this is what we have over here. So putting that challenge to those kids to reach the standard and not accepting anything less than that, that's when you get the best out of them. And I think Bill Belichick and Saban did that in, over the years. They've done that everywhere they've been. Now for me, I'm kind of partial to the LSU Les Miles, because I just like how he was able to create and do different things with it. But ultimately, I'm a Bobby Bowden guy. That's just me being a Noel.
Smart man.
Oh yeah,
smart man. Speaking of Bobby Bowden, I think that Bobby Bowden downfall as a coach toward the end was his loyalty.
Yeah.
And I think they tried to make everybody Charlie Ward, because we changed after when Charlie came. When you get a generation of talent,
yeah.
Now you're looking for the next one. Because before Charlie, I used to love old Casey Weldon, man.
Oh yeah, Casey Weldon. Yep.
Amp Lee, Edgar Bennett. When we get up on the center, they used to try to toss it around, but when Bobby Bowden grabbed our headset, they
get in that I formation.
They gonna get in that I formation. Oh, yeah. And it's pound time.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I call it to my players, I was never a Nick Saban to be a Belichick. I was more so of a Rex Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Because I believe they're gonna believe. I believe we're gonna win.
Yeah.
So I'm making them believe that we're gonna win. You understand what I'm saying? I've coached freshman level, and those group of kids go up to JV, and I always tell. So I coach freshmen, we go undefeated. So now they go to JV. So now I got my new freshman class.
Yeah.
And the kids so smart, I taught them so well. They pretty much know the playbook. This is my playbook. Yeah. So they calling it. They see it. They call it. You know what I'm saying? They remember. And I tell my current freshmen, you tell him, my coach better than your coach. You understand what I'm saying? Right. See, and they know the truth.
Yeah.
I had a couple kids quit because I wasn't their coach. I won't coach Pete, and it's belief. You know what I'm saying? It's belief. And I'm the type to where I believe some people say the balance when it comes to success is the players or the coaching.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a Belichick. Like, I'm going to prepare my team better than you prepare your team.
Yeah.
I just believe that through and through. You're not going to outcoach me.
I'm big on that.
For you to beat me, you is better than me by far.
Yeah.
We're not going to make mistakes, and your team wasn't prepared more than my team.
Yeah.
When you beat me, you won because you was better.
That's the big thing for me as well. I mean, you have to like you said, you have to outcoach me at the end of the day. If I can walk off that field after a Friday night and we just happened to, the other team was better than got the best of us, I want to be able to go in and be like, we were prepared, we went in, we tried to execute, but they did some things and that just happened. I'm a firm believer of playing chess, not checkers, when it comes to football. So my whole deal, the one thing that I can bring to a Friday night game, because I can't put the helmet on. I'm not strapping up no shoulder pads and running out there. I tell my boys all the time, nobody's hitting me. I'm not getting hit on a Friday night. But if I can win the battle between the ears on a Friday night, that's my job. My job is to be able to put y'all in the right situation, to be able to to be able to out scheme the other defensive coordinator or the other coach on the other side. Like, that's what I can bring to the table. Now, if I don't put you in the right situation, then it falls completely on me. But if you're in the right situation and they're just more talented or they're making better plays than we are, I can live with that because we're in the right position. We're doing the right things. They're just a little bit better than us in that aspect. So we have to improve in that for the next time that we face them, and we'll be set. Or I'll make an adjustment to put us in a better situation where that's not as, profound. That talent gap or whatever that you may have, I'm trying to shrink it down.
And, I'm a big Miami Dolphin fan.
Okay.
And
I'm a Bucks fan, but that's okay. We'll let it slide.
There's not a lot of things I know in life. I'm not a prideful man. What I can't do, I can't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you say, you mentioned chess. Like I'm telling you, I will beat you in chess.
Oh, I believe it.
Okay.
Now the crazy thing about it, now that because I say I play chess on the field, I cannot play chess at all. If we were to pull the chessboard out right now, I wouldn't know how to. No, I just know you got to protect the king. Correct? Is that it? Okay? There you go.
Protect daddy. Everything all right.
I need to learn how to play chess because it's a thinking man's game, and I really do like it. But I've never been taught.
I'm saying that to say this. As an offensive coordinator, sometimes we overthink it.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel, the coach for the Miami Dolphins. I watched the game, and sometimes it's like everybody calling the man genius, and of course he's super smart and all this, but as a play caller, which was his first year as the head coach and everything, he wouldn't make the adjustment from first half to second half. The Dolphins would be winning 24-3 and come back and lose because the other team would make an adjustment and he wouldn't. It has to work.
Yeah.
It has to work. You guys keep doing it. It's going to work. You know what I mean? And the adjustment wasn't there. And we talk about the Super Bowl with Pete Carroll and the Patriots.
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking run. Which
Yep.
is why he threw it.
Yeah.
As an offensive coordinator, what were your thinking when you seen that? And
that's a tough one. It seems tougher. It seems easy. It seems like a no-brainer. Everybody's like handed off the beast mode. He gets in the end zone, right? I'm trying to think back to the situation if he had a timeout or not. I believe he did. So being that he did have a timeout, I probably would have handed the ball off. But if it was, the clock was about to expire, I kind of get it. I respect Pete Carroll's decision to try to throw it because if that DB doesn't step in front of it and he catches it, it's a touchdown. They win the Super Bowl. Nobody bats an ip and thinks twice. It's easy to second guess somebody in hindsight of it.
Coach Simmons used to say, hell, if I knew he was going to fumble the ball, I would have lined up on first down and punted it.
Right. So,
you know what I'm saying? So if you think about that, they had ran him twice before. And, New England had a pretty good defense. Wilford was in the middle. So there was kind of stuff. It ain't no guarantee. We just figure he's Marshall Lynch. He's going to get in there. But there's no guarantee. But the thing about that is all week, the Patriots prepared for that play.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say about the coaching. Bill Belichick had his team more prepared. He prepared his players for that play all week. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why, and the guy that was in there was like a third string. He wasn't even supposed to be
I think
in there.
It was their nickel backup,
Malcolm,
something like that.
Yeah,
Malcolm.
He didn't make the team the next year. You know what I'm saying? So
and made the biggest play of the Super Bowl and got cut.
It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But he prepared them the best. And that's what I believe leads to success because you can have the better team, but your play calling can be horrible.
Yeah.
You could, you may say, well, how can you cheat? You're not playing. You could call the plays crazy plays.
Oh, yeah. You could put them in bad situations.
You can put them in bad situations.
Yeah, and if you repeatedly do that, you will lose, and it will be on you from doing it.
Let me ask you a question. From the offensive coordinator standpoint,
okay,
do you look at it as though you're coaching against the coaches or you're coaching against the players on the field?
More so the coach than the players. Because A coach is going to have a scheme. He's going to have something that he believes in, and he's going to put those kids in that position and be like, you know what, this is what we're going to do, and we're not going to deviate from it. Now, ultimately, the players make the scheme work. So but I'm more so a scheme oriented guy. Like I more want to attack your scheme, because ultimately, if I break you from doing something that you're more familiar with doing and you've always done, and I break that, now you're going to depend on those kids to try to make plays and do things that you're not normally used to doing, and rely on those kids to just make plays. So I'm more so a scheme. I want to break your scheme down versus, and then after that, once I've got the scheme, now it's time to find, okay, where's this top guys at? Oh, he plays them here, or he plays them there, or he sometimes moves from, down to the nickel, or he does that. Now I can tailor my scheme for those set players. But now I know what scheme you're doing, or I know what you're trying to get accomplished, or what you're trying to take away from me offensively. So now I kind of know where to attack. Now it helps when you have those 4 or 5-star kids and all that. I tell my kids a funny story. When I was at Trinity Catholic, we ended up playing Trinity Christian in the playoffs out of Jacksonville. And I let them know, I said, man, I called an offense against a defense that had 45 stars on it. That's 5-star here, 4-star here, 5-star there, 4-star here, or just 4-star, 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 and it added up, and they're too deep. They were bringing in 4 stars that didn't play. So when you have to scheme against something like that, that's really an anomaly in high school football, to have that many, quality players and the depth that you have. It's more so about just riding out on what you believe in, and because the athletes that they have are there, so you got to attack the scheme and hope that the scheme itself can lift you to a victory in that situation.
In my opinion, in my experience, what I do when I first, let's say we're going to play Dunnellon next week.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to go, if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm going to go and look for the weak link on your defense.
Yep.
Okay, we know this is a 3-star cornerback. We know that there. I need to find the weakest man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to target him. I'm going to scheme his weakness, because that's ultimately the weakness of your defense.
Yeah.
The weakest man, the weakest part of your defense. So I go at it, I'm going to look at this weak man. Or if you got a dominant defensive lineman, I'm just going to trap him from every which way. I just can't man up on him.
Yeah.
He's better.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to make him think, not just dominate.
Yeah.
So I need to hit him from the left to right. Smack him around. He don't know where it's coming from. I just need him that little hesitation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To stop him from.
I've definitely been there.
So what, let's say you got 4-star recruits all the way across the board.
Okay.
At what position is it the hardest for you as an offensive coordinator to scheme against when they're dominant?
I would probably say Mike, that middle backer. You have a dominant middle backer that can also fly downhill, play C gap to C gap, and can drop and run with, probably one of my fastest guys and stuff, and can turn and run up under him for, that would be an issue. Because you also got to try to get your lineman to climb up to him to even block him.
Yeah.
So he would be one that would be just a terror, just running free, making all the plays. But at the same time, if he's the only one that's doing it, I can kind of try to isolate some things to keep him off balance. But
block him from an angle. Don't try to get him at a tight end to come get him. For him to get to the play, he got
to go through him. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't Superman. So if you got a tight end, that's disciplined and taking the right angle, he can't run through him.
But at the same time, I'm a big believer. I tell the boys I'm not from Missouri, but I like what they say is to show me. So rather you're a 4-star, 5-star, it don't matter. You have to show me on a Friday night. Then maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. There was a funny story. There, Kelvin Tolliver on that Trinity Christian team was playing corner. He was a consistent 5-star or whatever. Ended up going to LSU and then to the Chicago Bears. He was playing corner, and it was like, before the game, Forgot who it was that had asked me. It was a newspaper media guy had asked me, like, Coach, how do you plan on, attacking this defense and all that? I said, well, ultimately, they're gonna have to show me why they have 5 stars. Now, I throw the first ball out there, he jumps it, picks it off. Okay, yeah. That's why you're a 5-star. I guess your night is going to get real boring now because I'm not going to not going back at you because you've showed me. But me going into a game, letting stars and hype and all of that stuff deter me from what I feel like our best game plan is, I'll never do it. Like, you'll have to show me, and then from there we'll adjust. But I'm not on the hype train when it comes to.
And see, that's coaching, and that's what I say about. You can have the players, but one coach over the other coach. Yeah. See, your mindset, your mind frame is, you got to show me.
Yeah, you're going to have to show me.
Some people believe the hype.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? Some people believe and they're afraid to throw the ball over there. Yeah, they're afraid of it. You know what I'm saying? And therefore, you mess up your whole scheme worried about this one man.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, ultimately, they're still 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old young kids. Yeah. They're gonna make mistakes. I don't care if you're a 4 or 5 star out there. You can get a double move can break you. You've been beat before. You're not that spectacular that nobody can catch a ball on you or nobody can break a tackle or anything like that.
And sometimes you can use that ranking against them because they're so confident. They'll take chances.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I used to do. I coached at Forest. At Forest, you didn't have many minorities. Most of the team consists of Caucasian kids. Right. So I would have, one black running back, one black receiver. That's pretty much it. A quarterback or something like that. So one receiver would be white, one receiver would be black. So the white receiver, he's not as fast, but he can catch. Yeah. But he's dirt slow, but he'll give you his all. So I tell him, the cornerback over there, my wide receiver can't outrun nobody. But I tell him to run hard every play. You gonna get him. We gonna get him. Mm-hmm. We gonna get him. See, and the cornerback starts to, know that he can't run. They ain't gonna throw him the ball. You know what I mean? So he starts to slack up. But my wide receiver is running the block in full speed, trying his little best. So I have him to run out there, and so we'll run a couple sweeps off tackle. So he gets bored. The cornerback will get bored, and he want to hit. Him. He want to tackle. So I said, we gonna get him. We gonna get him. And that little old slow white guy run right by him, and I throw it right over his head. Yep. And he's the most embarrassed, not the mental part. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. See, it's mental. A lot, to me, football is mental. A lot, a lot of it's mental. Yes, and you always look for the advantage and understand your opponent. You cocky, you arrogant. See, and when I was coaching, I wasn't far removed from playing. Yeah. So you still got that mind frame of a player. You know what I'm saying? This joker ain't wrong with me. That's what he's thinking. Man, he's trash. You know what I'm saying? I catch him. If he get behind me, I catch him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, and it comes to backfire. And you can bite them real easy. Oh yeah.
You can use that. You can use that to your advantage right there because a lot of the high profile athletes and the ones that have those stars, they try to go about a game on a Friday night to prove why they have them, and sometimes they can play themselves out of position or try to do too much instead of just playing the game. That's probably why they got those stars. But when they start feeding into their own hype, then they start doing things that are uncharacteristic, and that's when you can make them pay.
Another pitch to your players. I remember a couple years back, quite a few years back, it was a guy named Lemium Wilkerson.
Yeah. Lim. Yep. Played
for North Marion.
Yes, sir.
And the Seminoles, Andrew, Florida State was there watching the cornerback. I think the cornerback played for Live Oak. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to be like the number 2 cornerback in the state of Florida, but yet Lim tortured him. Yeah. Like you said, we're gonna see why he number 2.
Exactly.
Lim tortured him. So all of a sudden out the blue,
now he starts getting some.
Who is this receiver? Mm-hmm. So, his dad a pastor, and they kind of, his dad, you gonna stay here, you get the attention, you start hunching the girls, and you got one pregnant, you gonna stay here, be a man. You ain't going to no college, you gonna stay here and be a man. So, but Florida State was when Florida State wanted him, because of it. This the number 2 cornerback in the state, and he was only a sophomore that year.
Yeah.
They want to know, who is this kid torching this man? You know what I'm saying?
So that's what I used to tell our players that's taking a scholarship. Take an offer. Take an offer. This kid has how many offers? 42, 35, whatever he has. He has a large number. He's this and he's that. Take an offer. That means you go out there and you outplay him, because everybody that is offered him is going to look. They're watching, so that's the big thing. They're going to watch the kids that they have those offers. So you competing against them has more eyes on you. So how do you respond?
And to me, that starts with you.
Yeah.
How you say, show me. Instead of you afraid to throw to him, you afraid of losing. Oh, no. You're not putting your kid in the best position to get the scholarship.
Yep. I've never been that type of guy.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I think coaching the right head coach makes all the difference.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? No, we're not backing down from this guy.
Oh, no.
We're going to get him.
We're going to go at him. And he's going to have to show us why he has that.
I remember Darrell Reeves. Remember we had Chad Henning.
Yeah.
And we had Darrell Reeves played for the Jets or whatever at the time. And we had Ted Ginn. And I mean, it was like a Monday night game or a Thursday night game, I remember. And like the Dolphins' second play of the game, just Ted Ginn up top on Darrell Reeves. Setting the example, let them know, man, we ain't running from you.
Rather it's complete or not, we gonna take a shot.
And Ted Ginn ran right, Ted Ginn ran right by him. Yeah. You know what I mean? I interviewed Tony Casey and we talked about football speed and track speed. How does speed translate to the football field?
Track speed is always, I told my skill guys right after I got the job, I told them, if you want to touch my football, you need to be on the track team, because I think it translates completely over. I believe some of your faster NFL guys or college guys and all that are great track runners or have great track form.
Tyreek Hill.
There you go. Like I think you have to have that if you're at some capacity, even if you're a big guy. Even you still need to learn how to properly run. Like all that plays a factor. You can think that you're fast and not know how to run, and then you get the ball and then you look crazy trying to run.
And in football is quickness in short spaces.
Yeah.
So track going to teach you the first thing you're gonna learn in track is how to come out the blocks. You know what I mean? Your takeoff is everything. So your quickness. Football 20 yards here, 30 yards there. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So quickness, I had a two running backs. Brandon Taylor can outrun. Solomon Taylor, he can outrun Derek Hubbard in a 40. But if you look at the tape, you would think that he's faster because he was way more quicker. He's quicker. His chopping, like you look at LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk. These guys take 3 steps, they're wide open.
Yeah.
Warwick Dunn, he's you know what I'm saying?
He's not gearing up. As soon as he gets to that 30, he's out of there.
He's out of there. Sometimes when you watch history, you're not aware of it.
Yeah.
And to me, in our lifetime, me and your lifetime, to me, one of the greatest running backs to ever play football, you had a chance to watch him, and so did I. Who do you think I'm speaking of? He did it in college. He did it in NFL. Okay.
Oh, man, it could be quite a few. LaDainian Tomlinson would be one. Marshall Faulk would be another one. Are we talking strictly on the field or off the field?
Straight on the field. He played in the NFC South, I believe.
NFC South. So that's Atlanta, Tampa, New Orleans, and
Minnesota.
Minnesota would be the other one. Is that the other one? Golly, there's so many that you could name. Warwick Dunn would be the big one. I'm a Bucks fan, so to me, I'd say Warwick Dunn just because he's a great human being on top of it.
He's a great human being, and he's a good run. We talking about one of the great. This man arguably could be one of the greatest running backs to ever touch a football. I'm going to go ahead and say his name for the sake of this podcast.
Go ahead.
Adrian Peterson.
Yes.
This man, when have you seen anything since him or before him? I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, the closest person I would think that's in the NFL now to Adrian Peterson would be Derrick Henry. I would think, just because he's AP was a tall running back.
Yeah.
So that in an era where all the running backs were 5'10", 5'11", AP's like 6'2" or something like that, running the ball. I'm like talking old school Eric Dickerson style.
Yeah, that's exactly who he reminds me of.
So I would say the closest thing that we have to that now in the NFL would be Derrick Henry. He's another big back. I just don't know if he has the same explosion.
That thing, man.
AP was tough, man.
AP get in front of you, it's touchdown. Ain't no such thing as running them down and all that. Those days, that's not gonna happen.
Adrian Peterson was tough. That's a good one there.
What is your motivation for coaching, sir?
My motivation for coaching is to help young men see beyond what they even see of themselves. Their potential. Being able to teach life lessons through the game of football. I think that's always been something that I've kind of held on to, being able to do that. Because in life, as you know, just like I do, I mean, you're going to have adversity every day of your life at some point. And on the football field, it's the exact same. You're going to face adversity. You're going to face coaches getting on you in practice. You're going to face the opposing team on a Friday night, trying to win the game in the competition setting. So you're going to deal with adversity. It's not always going to go good, but how you respond from that makes you the man that you will be. So being able to help young men and young women, because I coach flag as well. So helping people in general, young people, face adversity and kind of overcome it and being able to deal with it is the biggest thing, my motivation for coaching.
I call this series of podcasts in my story.
Yeah.
When you think about history, you break that down as his story.
Mm-hmm.
So when we think about the history of Dunnellon football, the history of J.B. Bynum III, the legacy of Dunnellon football, the legacy of J.B. Bynum III, you're the first African-American head coach in Dunnellon history.
Yeah.
How does that feel and what does it mean to you, sir?
It means a lot. It's a big responsibility that's on the shoulders because to be that flag bearer for that and being the first one makes it huge. It's a surreal thing. It makes it makes everything that I've done before getting back to Dunnellon well worth it, and it's part of leaving your legacy at the school. It's one of the things that I asked my players when we were off at FCA camp. I asked them, one of the questions was, what do you want your legacy to be at Dunnellon High School? Mine, I made a self promise to myself when I was in high school that I wasn't going to leave high school without winning a state championship. Well, we know that didn't happen, but at the same time, I also was part of the longest basketball team that made it the furthest in school history in 01. So we had our names up there in the rafters of the gym. So it's like, I still was able to leave somewhat of a mark on the program and at the school that, my legacy would live on to it, that I could show my kids later on in life, like, hey, look, there's that. So now being the first black head coach in Dunnellon history, it's like it almost cements it and stamps it. Right. So now it'll be, I know that will live on forever. I don't want to be the last one, but I'm fortunate enough to be the first one. So I feel like that just opened doors up for some that may have that aspiration or that dream, to be a head coach at your alma mater. Well, now I've kind of broken down that wall, and now the opportunity, you can see if I can do it, then you can do it, or everything is possible for that.
Being the first Do you feel any added pressure? Do you feel like your margin for error is any greater or less than other coaches?
You know what? I would say that it would. I do feel pressure. I think it's pressure anytime that you're in a position of authority or whatever like that. You have that. You have people that'll look at you and be like, hey, it's your ship now. Don't sink it. Keep it afloat and keep us moving in the right direction. But at the same time, that responsibility is welcome too. Because if I didn't feel like I was gonna be good at the job, or I would have never accepted it as well. So that pressure that comes along with it, but ultimately, I know the genuine love that you get from the town and city of Dunnellon. Like we gravitate to our own. We support our own real strongly. So I know the support will be there. And that's just the thing. The pressure, I'm gonna apply the pressure on myself.
Right.
Nobody can beat me up more than I beat myself.
So in other words, you're gonna look in the mirror and tell yourself, you got to show me
all the time.
I think y'all should get some shirts, man.
It might be
with the D and put on there, man. You got to show me. You got
to show me. I like that.
I like
run
that,
with
man.
it now. Our mantra is DTM this year. That's D-Town made. So I might put DTM on the front. You got to show me on the back.
You got to show me. No? I remember I used to tell Miss Sermon, I'm elementary school, I'd be like, Miss Sermon, I'm going to be good today. I'm going to be good today, Miss Sermon.
Yeah.
And she say, William, actions speak louder than words.
There you go.
You got to show me.
You got to show me. I'm from the show me state, but I've never been to Missouri.
So if you could instantly master any skill, what would it be?
Oh, man. That's a good question. Oh, that is a tough one. You might have stumped me on that one. If I could master any skill, what would it be? Maybe the skill of, which I think I'm pretty good on it, but it's still not the best at it, is being able to reach those that they say are unreachable. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense,
yes,
if you follow me there,
sense.
Being able to reach those, because it's, I like the challenge kids. I like the ones that are troubled. I like the ones that have that attitude that you feel like nobody could like. Those are the ones that I usually gravitate towards,
right?
Because it's almost like an open challenge, and I want to see if I can fix that. I see if I can fix
this little attitude you got.
I want to see if I can.
You got to show me you really ain't got that kid in you.
There you go.
You got to show me all the little love. I give you a little love. You ain't gonna respond to this love.
Right.
I'm gonna show you.
Right, because I think behind every kid that they say is a problem is really a kid that's misunderstood.
Exactly.
And really a kid that just needs somebody that can understand them in their realm and reach them to it, and then help them get to their full potential. Right. See, that's the story that makes it good. When you have a kid that everybody seems like, I don't know, coach, he might not make it. He ain't gonna be the one. That's the one that I want to see success.
Hurting people hurt people.
There you go.
And it's something that's taking place. Think of this kid 13, 14, and to be this way or this fashion or to have this mindset at 13 and 14, something is taking place.
Something's up, yeah.
Something is taking place. Santa Claus ain't come, the tooth fairy ain't come, something ain't right.
Yeah, something threw him off.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If you could have dinner with any three people, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, man. That's a good question as well. Mine, I would say, for one, I would have dinner with my dad again. I have dinner with my dad. It would be me, him, Bobby Bowden, and who would be the last one? I'd probably say President Obama would be a good one.
It's funny you said that, because when you were sitting there and we was talking about the first and everything, I was saying to myself, I say, my name to you when I see you on the field, I'm going to call you Obama Bynum.
That's a compliment. I'll take that. That's all right.
Obama Bynum, huh? Okay, the first, baby.
Yeah, it would be those three, man. I think, it's a shame that only one is still living with us, but I think that would be a great roundtable dinner discussion with those three men. I think they've been so influential in my life. Just like I said, Obama being that groundbreaker and that one being the first, so I can relate to that from Dunnellon and have that insight. And then Bobby Bowden on the coaching aspect, you know, and then you know, my dad for just the life experience and the love and all that he went through in his life, and just having to be able to go through and have spend that time again with those three men, I think would be phenomenal for me.
Just thinking, you take the advice your dad gave you, the coaching of Bobby Bowden, and the swag of Obama. You know, you can walk down that sideline like Obama walked through the Oval Office, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've received is, when you're doing something that you love the right way, you can never fail.
Amen. And you know, what about the most challenging thing you've ever accomplished?
The most challenging thing I've ever accomplished. That's a good one too. Probably the most challenging thing, and it goes back to high school for me too as well. Because I end up injuring myself, tearing my ACL and my meniscus my junior year. I partially tore it in football, came back after a few weeks, you know, of rest or whatever, finished out that season, but I ended up completely tearing it. That 01 season where we went to the Final Four and all that, I didn't actually get past December in the Kingdom of the Sun. Came down on somebody's foot and completely tore my ACL. So I think being able to come back from that mental hurdle at that time, and it was pretty tough. Because the mental aspect, when you hurt yourself, that's the biggest hurdle. I mean, physically, they'll reconstruct your knee, they'll reconstruct whatever is broke and set it right to get it fixed. But mentally, being able to say, you know what, I'm gonna plan on this, and it's gonna still be there. It's not gonna take off, and so.
They've done the work, but your mind is saying, you got to show me.
Yeah, you go. So being able to overcome that injury, and I know that's some years ago, but and then having that mindset of just attacking every day with everything.
You think you was a better football player or a basketball player?
I knew football was where I was gonna get an opportunity to move forward with. Basketball, I was a role player, man. I mean, we had it's funny, I'm gonna give him a shout out on here. There's Stanley Jackson. He's also on my coaching staff as well. But we had Stanley playing, you know, and that's a walking 40.
He gonna shoot every ball.
Oh yeah, man. So I knew my role in basketball was, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna rebound, I'm gonna play this defense, and then I'm gonna get, you know, I might get 6-8 points on putbacks. That's about it, you know. But I knew my role and I loved it. Like, I play defense. I'll be the Dennis Rodman. I'll get out here and dive for loose balls, and you know. But I ultimately know I'll throw an alley-oop or two or something. But I'm not, you know.
Hey, when you got a player like Stanley, you know, I'm a firm believer in the sports in the locker room.
Yeah.
Without anyone opening their mouth, everyone know who is who.
Right.
It's not hard to figure out. When I come to visit Dunnellon, me coming and walking in that locker room, before I leave, I know who is who.
Yeah. Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? You know, lions ain't hard to find.
They not.
You know who Mufasa is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got some scars in there too.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, it's not hard to find who is who. So let me ask you something. If you had to create a law that everyone had to follow, what would it be?
Okay, that's a great question. Mine would be what they say, the golden rule, wouldn't it be? Treat others how you would want to be treated.
Amen.
And I feel like if that was a law that they threw people in jail if they did not do that, then I think the world would be a better place. Because I think at the end of the day, that's what it is. Nobody wants to be treated wrong or treated unjust or unfairly towards it. So, I mean, if you treat everybody how you expect it to come back to you, I feel like the world would be a better place.
If you had the opportunity to win 50-0 every week, would you do it?
That's another good question. And it's going to sound crazy, but I would say no. I would take it a lot. If we're talking a 10-game schedule, I'd take 9 of those, but I need one. I need one
dog fight.
Yeah, or one that's testing everybody in my program.
I used to, the coach would come to me and be like, hey, as far as, we kind of do things. Me, I believe every time I get the ball, you score.
Right.
That's the mentality of my team.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a week where we can't score. And I don't want them thinking, well, we'll just play around and then we'll straighten it out. No, I want you stepping on that field, 10 behind up off the top.
Right.
You practice to score.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have a third string running back who's out here in this hot sun all week and deserve to score. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a week where he don't get to score. But this week, he going to score 3 times if you let him score 3 times.
And now the object of the game is, we talked about it earlier, is across that goal line. And so, your job is to stop me from doing it. So these kids that have put in that work, just like the starters, I put my second string in there, they want to score. Now, am I going to throw, a 50-yard bomb 3 times in a row? Probably not.
You know what? You know what's funny? When I coached, I would work on the things that I wasn't good at when I got up.
Yeah.
So let's say I could run the ball down your throat, punish and running game, boom, boom, I'm up 21-3. I may come out and I throw it because to me, I'm practicing.
Right.
If he throw an interception, you run it back, okay, I'm up 21-10. I can go back to pounding you to win the game.
Right.
I can't come out throwing and you jump up 14-0 now. Now I'm in this dog fight. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's just the funny how the mind, I'm thinking, okay, we up, we comfortable a little bit. I'm going to try to throw this ball around a little bit. But I'm not really the greatest at it, so it may work, it may not work. You know what I mean? But we're going to play a game called Fill in the Blank.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some random questions. You answer quickly, precisely, to the point. There's no right or wrong. First thing come to mind.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
I've always wanted to
be the head football coach at the Dunnellon High School.
I love when someone
I love when someone can be themselves truly around me.
If I had to do it all over again, I would.
If I had to do it all over again, I would have came back home a lot sooner.
My favorite holiday is?
My favorite holiday is Christmas.
It aggravates me when people.
Oh, it aggravates me when people don't keep their word.
The best quality someone can have is?
The best quality someone can have is selflessness.
If I was God, the first thing I would do is?
If I was God, the first thing I'd do is, I don't know if I can answer that one because what man questions God?
My childhood crush was?
All right. My childhood crush was Claire Huxtable.
Okay. Crush, that was everybody's childhood crush. If I had to travel anywhere in the world, it would be?
It would be Dubai.
My favorite movie is?
Ooh, man. Do I get a few, or I gotta settle in on one?
You gotta settle in on one.
Oh man. Now you're gonna make me think. I know I'm supposed to answer fast, right? Now I'm thinking. Shoot. My favorite movie is Friday. We'll go with Friday. Cult classic.
Okay. If I could go back to any age, it would be?
If I can go back to any age, it would be 16.
Jesus is?
Everything.
When I meet someone, the first thing I notice is?
Are they a good person?
My greatest strength is?
My greatest strength is being compassionate, I believe.
My greatest weakness is?
My greatest weakness is being too compassionate.
Yo, the biggest misconception about J.B. Bynum III is what?
The biggest misconception would be that I'm. That's a good one too. I would say probably just misunderstood. Maybe would be one, and not recognized as the coach that I am. I feel like a lot of people kind of look past me or look over me when it comes to things, and I don't, because I'm not a very boastful type person. Right. So I don't speak on the accomplishments that I have that others get recognized for that I kind of don't. And I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. Like I'd rather have my kids speak for me, or have you do some research and be like, oh, I didn't know Bynum did this or had this on his resume, because I'll never really speak on it.
Well, I tell you what, man, shout out to Principal Wade Martin, man, for seeing what others couldn't see.
My man.
Okay, so this part of the episode is called AMA, where you, Bynum, get to ask William Robinson anything.
Okay. My question to you would be, what do you expect to see when you come out and see the Dunnellon Tigers this year?
A rowdy crowd, great announcer.
Yes, sir.
And me sitting here talking to you, I believe the team will be well prepared, very disciplined. I think I'll see a very competitive team.
Yeah.
That's what I expect to see.
I appreciate that, because that's what we're striving for. Biggest thing we want to do is have the great folks of Dunnellon, when they come out on a Friday night, is to see a product on the field that's something that they'll be proud of and proud to represent and stand behind every Friday night. Okay.
And this is the last part of the episode. You're going to look directly into this camera over my shoulder here. It's called Final Thoughts. You're going to give the world, my community, TLC land, your final thoughts, sir.
Okay. My final thoughts is, this is Josephus Bynum III, better known as Coach Bynum, your new head coach at Dunnellon High School. My final thought is, I want to thank my man for having me in for this interview. And I hope to see everybody out in Tigerland when we play on a Friday night, where you're going to see a physical, electric, exciting football team, one that plays with the mantra of, we are D-Town made and we're here. And we're also different at the same time. Go Tigers.
That's right. And those are the final thoughts by the one and the only J.B. Bynum. And I, William Robinson, is your host of TLC Talk Love and Communication, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a very special episode of My Story with Coach Josephus.
There we go.
Bynum the third,
yes,
Dunnellon High School, first ever history black head coach right here in Marion County, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to come out and support this young man. Support Dunnellon. They are part of Marion County. They're not Citrus County. And once again, we're going to wish them the best of luck, ladies and gentlemen, here in TLC land. You can donate to this podcast, or anybody love you with a U, with Cash App, PayPal, Robinson74William at gmail.com, Zelle 352-209-3306. We only got one life to live, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a whole lot easier with love and communication. And remember, if nobody told you they love you today, William Robinson loves you.